Hello everybody. I just wanted to show a little on this mod that I've been working on. Let me get over to equipment. Here I have a regular tractor cultivator setup. And you can see that I have the rock digging level high. That's on an input binding. Here you can turn it off or turn it on various levels. If I put it on 5, it's the highest, so it should generate a few rocks as it digs. I'll turn it back on safe mode. We have that on, so it stops the edge of the field. And I'm going to get him going. We'll just hire, and we'll see what he does. Now, up here in front of him, he has already dug up a rock, and it's sitting there, and these rocks are dynamic objects. They move when you push on them. They're in the save game file, so no matter if you save the game or not, you still have to deal with them. And I have there is supposed to be some noise. Oh, and there I was talking, but I can't hear it. There is supposed to be a little noise as the rocks come out. As we all know, when we dig them up in the field, there is a clank or something, you know, if it's big enough. And these are big rocks that would interfere with the shanks so that the operator even would hear it click or what have you. You have several sounds put in there. So let me just shut up here and we'll see if it generates an... Ah, there's a noise. I don't know if that came through. Hopefully it did. Yeah, there's a noise. So there's several of them in there. It picks them kind of at random, depending on when a new rock is going to be spawned. So there it is. We have him digging up the field, and the player is going to need to do something with the rocks. And so we'll just switch to something else here. I think I have another setup. We'll come back to him in a moment. You know, when I first got this game a long time ago, I always wondered what the purpose of this blade in front of the tractor was for. I think it calls it even a rock pusher. I don't remember. But I never could. I mean, one of the first things I tried was to push these rocks kind of down over this hill. And probably, as everybody knows, they're static objects in the map. You can't push them or do anything with them. So the rocks now, though, not the ones down over the hill, but these right here that I dumped here earlier, they are pushable. I'll just show you here real quick, and we can use this as it was kind of intended. Just come over here, and I'll lower the blade. And this is just a sample of rocks that were dug up in the field. Let me get a different angle here so you can see. So they're physics objects, just like a bale or anything else. And maybe before I push them down the hill, notice right in front of here, there's kind of a yellow one. Just for kicks, I made a different kind of rock, and you know what? It doesn't look like gold, but we're just going to pretend. When that particular rock is disposed of, you'll actually earn some money, depending on the level of difficulty, if you will. And in terms of disposing them, what you can't see right here is down over the hill in the map, I installed a trigger. Maybe if I do this, you can see it. Oh, there we go. I said the wrong one. F5, I think, turns that on. This shows all the collisions. You can kind of see the big orange box that I put in there. And basically, the purpose of it is to me, this kind of looks like a hillside where a farmer would dump some rocks off. So that's what we're going to do. And then this trigger's going to catch it and it's going to dispose of it. It'll give us money for the gold one, but the other ones it's just going to dispose of, make them disappear, and we won't get anything for it. I'm using the same trigger as where the hay bales are disposed of, the barn mover trigger, I think it's called. So that's kind of what I'm using here, but then I had to write a script in order to get it to recognize rocks in this particular instance over here, and it also, I'll need to test this later, but I set it up so this won't let you dispose of hay bales over the hill here. Only rocks. So, like I say, I had to write a little script for that. I mean, there are several scripts that had to be written to do this. So anyway, without further jibber jabber, let me see if I can turn this off. And we'll just, like you can see what the cache level is. Let's just go over here and we'll shove these rocks here kind of off the hill. They'll disappear. Okay, it makes the cache register sound, but nothing gets added to cache. There's two more here. We should have something added to cache if we keep an eye on it. Maybe 5,000. I don't remember how much I put in there. Alright, well, there was a certain amount added. I don't remember how much. So anyway, that's how a guy gets rid of the rocks. So anybody that uses this mod, if you want to use it, the map that you use it on is going to need a place added to it, a trigger of some kind for the rocks. And so unfortunately, and maybe there's a way to do this and someone else knows how to maybe buy a trigger or something. It's been a long time since I've messed with Farm Sim 09, so I can't say I know how to do it. But anyway, that's where I get rid of them on here. Let me go. Okay, here's our combine. He's still going with the rocks. Now this here, there's something else I worked out or tried to. This is the same as the trailer that comes in-game, or that you start with. I don't even know what the thing is called. Maybe I can just look in here real quick, and it's the standard green trailer. Where is it? Aha, here it is. The small tipper. Only I did a modded version of it. In the earlier versions of Farming Sim, what would be done is for collisions on the trailer, like I'm going around the edges here, the giants would just take a big old brick, a big old block, and cover the whole thing. And when you want to pick up rocks with a trailer, you can't just have the rocks sitting on top of the brick and it'll look like they never go down in the trailer. So I had to take this one and make some modifications to it. And so what I have instead is the rock trailer. It's identical to the one that's in game, except this one here can haul rocks because the collisions are set up differently. And I'll show that in a moment. It also, I made it so it can continue to haul the grain and what have you. So it'll do all the things it did before, and now it'll also haul rocks. Kind of. The physics are a little bit wonky. Maybe I'll do this button again so you can see. See how there's collisions kind of around the edge. You can see the orange edge of the collisions, and I leave the middle part open, and then underneath all the colors and everything is collision, so that the rocks, they can go in the air and they stay in there. But let me just show or prove, if you will, that it still will haul grain. So we got to do a little bit of work here to, oh, and he's not hired, so let me go back. Is it? Nope. So he's got a full load. Let me just put out his pipe. So as you can see, it's loading up the trailer. So even though it's set up totally different, you can still haul the grain. And So we'll just take the whole load there, all 4,500 liters. So it picks that up, and there's nothing else we can do. I just turned on the help menu, and there's nothing in there. But what this trailer will allow us to do is to auto-load all these rocks, which I'll show here just in a minute. But for the moment, I got to go down here and go empty this before I can do that. If I have product in the back, it isn't going to let me auto-load. Woo! Physics are bouncy. Alright, now you see in the help menu, I got a couple key bindings here for auto-loading of rocks. So, obviously there isn't anything to unload at the moment, but there will be a couple things here to auto-load. So, let me just pull out here. Let me turn on, first off, I'll do auto unloading so you can kind of see something here. When I hit X, it's unloading now whatever is sitting inside the bed. And of course, there's nothing in there, so there's nothing to unload. But I wanted to show, when I hit key L, see those dots that it puts on the ground? That is where it's gonna unload all the rocks. And this is keyed off of where, I think it's a tipper point reference that comes with the trailer, that the script that I wrote for this just picks that point and uses it as a place for unloading. So we'll turn that off for the moment, and we'll switch over to rock loading, which is what we kind of want to do. And you can do the same thing. This will show, if I hit L, will show the general working area, if you will, of where it's going to be picking up rocks. And there's an inner circle inside which, of course, we don't want it to move rocks around because, well, they're already in the trailer. So that's kind of what we have here to protect those rocks. But inside the middle area there, the concentric circle area, the donut area, whatever, is generally where it will pick up rocks. So why don't we just leave that on, and we'll just head up here and see if we can grab a couple of them. And you don't have to use this, by the way. You could just use your the blade with the tractor if you want. But we got a lot of rocks here, so I think I'm going to pick them up. So there it goes. It puts it in the trailer. And there's another one, and another. And these are some big rocks. And, you know, one improvement made in Farming Sim over time has been in the physics. I know some players still complain about the physics, and this is the earliest version, so you can see it's carrying it in the trailer, but the game really doesn't like it. So, you know what, that's all I think I'm going to put in. I'll just turn it off, and they're not having a good time in our trailer here, but they will stay there, and then hopefully we can get them down over the hill to take them over to the rock dump. And none of this rock loading, kind of like I showed before when I had a load of canola in the tank, I couldn't do any of this up, you know what. Well, yeah, I'm going to blame some of this on the physics. Maybe my script isn't the best either. There, we just picked them back up. You know, the reality is if we just drive somewhere, even though they trickle out of the rig, they'll still kind of get picked up by the script as we go, because we have this circle going on here. So even though they're tipping, except when you just go a little too fast. There we go, picked up that one. So if anybody uses this option, you may want to just have a couple rocks in there. Maybe I need to make a cover or something that we could put over the top of this, but I kind of shudder what this is doing to the physics engine just attempting this. So, you know what? I mean, this may be just something you don't want to fuss with. But once I get this out there, I'll let you decide what you want to do. So let me turn this off. So I have a choice here, and these rocks really shouldn't be zipping around that much. Maybe there are some physics settings in the i3D file that I can mess with. Some of the friction settings, there might be some additional scripting I could do that would help them not move around as much. I don't know. Yeah, see, it'll take them right out of the trailer, or I can start unloading them here and throw them out. So it just threw them right into the trigger, and there we go, they're gone, and finally our trailer has a little bit of peace. The other thing I want to point out too is you see the settings here on the trailer in the help menu. The way that I wrote this is as a specialization for every trailer, irrespective of type. Well, that isn't entirely true. I still got some things on here. If it's a bale loading trailer or a forage harvesting trailer, I think I have it turned off so that this specialization doesn't come on there. But let me just show you real quick. Here is the standard in-game. I still have auto loading on this also, but I'll tell you, you aren't going to like it, or players aren't going to like using this one, and I'll just show why real quick. It'll still work, or it's supposed to anyhow, and it should have all the same settings. Yep, just like on the other. So it'll still insert it on here, but let's see. Here's what happens. See what it's doing? And it's invisible to our eyes, but if you pull open the i3D file of this particular trailer, you'll see what I mean. It's just this big old brick that doesn't take into account that there's open space here, and it ends up, you'll have a rock sitting on top of it because the rock thinks that there's a collision object under it. So you could, and I won't take the time to do it here, you could get a flatbed trailer and attempt to haul a rock on it, but all it's going to do is just like it's going to do here. You'll notice it's going to just fall off the back. So the other trailer that I have may be the best option that we have to haul them off, as rickety as it is, or you may just want to use a blade. So anyway, I just wanted to show a little bit what I've been working on, and hopefully at some point I can release this and share this with others. And I'm not real skilled on 3D objects. These rocks, let me just get out of the tractor here. These rocks are the ones that came with the map itself, the original Giants map. If anybody has smaller rock objects that would work, I'd be happy to put them in here. Ordinarily, anybody that's ever run a cultivator or a plow in the field, when something is dug up, generally it's not a huge rock. I mean, sometimes a shank will pull out a large one like this, but more often than not, it's probably going to be smaller sized rocks. These here are the large variety. The trouble being, though, the smaller they are, the harder they are to see. I know when I implemented this for Farm Sim 17, I actually put a hotspot on every single rock, so you could always find the little guys, and they had a way of hiding in some nooks and crannies sometimes. So anyway, hope to get this out there at some point soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.